She isn't Silver, and she's definitely not a Scorpion, but she is a Golden Age superhero who happens to be female. Her name is the Silver Scorpion, and we're going to explore one of her stories today on Comicology. There actually isn't much to this story. It's only 5 pages long and it doesn't do much to really glamorize the character. But I want to talk about it because I like female superheroes, especially from the Golden Age. People think female characters were uncommon in that era, but that just isn't true at all. Everyone thinks Wonder Woman set the trend for female heroes, but again, that's not really true. The Silver Scorpion is an excellent example of this. She isn't as interesting as Wonder Woman. Her only ability is a decent costume and a mastery of jujitsu. But in her defense, this was the Golden Age, and all you really needed back then was a decent punch and enough gumption to get you to the end of the block. Silver Scorpion, with her mastery of jujitsu, becomes crime's most dreaded opponent. This is such a great opening shot. We see the Madam of Mystery herself stalking or being stalked by a group of thugs. Plus, we get a good look at her crime-fighting symbol here, which is an awesomely drawn scorpion. At the bottom of the page, we meet our first character, the night watchman of the local cemetery, who is in a panic as he claims to have just witnessed a ghost. The Silver Scorpion is unique in that she lacks any reasonable gimmick. Her outfit and her moniker aren't themed very well, and this made me wonder what the appeal of the character was. Then it just sort of hit me. The whole shtick is sort of just being a woman, and I think maybe that was just enough to be interesting back in the 40s. The Night Watchman is actually calling Detective Dan Hurley, who isn't having any of this ghost nonsense. His secretary, however, Miss Barstow, overhears the conversation and makes the excuse that she's going to head to a ball. Apologetic for making her wait, Detective Hurley drives her home post-haste, where she switches to her alternate identity of the Silver Scorpion and heads out into the night to stop all this ghost business. I think it's great that her secret identity is just a secretary for a private detective. I think that's a wonderful role reversal, one that's reversing a very common trope. In many detective stories, especially in film noir, loyal secretaries are such this underdeveloped character and next to the detective lead, and this story makes me feel like we're getting a glimpse into like their secret life. When the Scorpion arrives at the cemetery, she immediately catches wind of the Night Watchman, who's trying desperately to outrun the ghost. Hilariously, she makes her rescue by literally punting the ghost into the air with her jujitsu prowess. The ghost is very obviously just a man wearing some sort of sheet. It's almost satirical how obviously not a ghost he is. The ghost she throws gets stuck in a tree, and the Scorpion goes in full-on hunter mode. She drops into a tomb, which apparently an entire gang of criminals has been using as their secret hideout, and she just tears them apart. See, one thug actually tries to choke her out, and she destroys him. She is so freaking strong, she makes him look like a wimp. I wish she was my secretary. The last guy here tries to shoot her with a gun, and she kicks him so hard in the face that I laughed. She then makes her escape just as the cops arrive to put a nice little bow on the whole situation. They seem genuinely pleased that a woman rounded up a whole gang for them. Then we're greeted to a whole slew of newspapers about it, and we get these final 2 panels where Betty Barstow, aka the Silver Scorpion, is just staring at Dan over these papers like, hey, give me attention. and then he's completely oblivious that she's a superhero. I mean, if only he knew. Whoa, if only he knew I'm going to be the Silver Scorpion again. It's great. It's great. It's only 5 pages and it's so entertaining. It packs so much substance. She's awesome. I want to marry her. If she was real, I would marry her. There are subtleties in her character that really work in her favor. She somehow perfectly rides the line between being interesting but not convoluted. I love the role reversal and the deviation from the common trope. And I love how the story was so short and yet so entertaining that there was no room for those crappy filler moments that you get in a lot of Golden Age comics. This was a great story. 2 thumbs up, AAA. I wish my secretary was this cool. And I'm getting way